I got that. Yeah, heard them call me conscious. I ain't think about it honestly. My thoughts too deep to process, so I do this all unconsciously. Finally feeling God bless. Got 'em woke up dropping prophecy. Don't take it out of context. Just before, I swear they always sleep. Now they catch the message, yeah. Bet that every song is deep. It's levels in each concept. But I can't just never mono theme. I'm trying to lead this flock for the cause, not the following. People upon a partner, and I wonder why they drawn to me. Once upon a time, I thought to follow up a dream. Draw life about these lines, nothing twice about these schemes, and like thrice about these insights. What I write is like a blueprint for you to comprehend life. That's light, I reckon, make you shine. Never dim it down, even if you live surrounded where everybody vision clouded. Remember, staying down ain't quite as good as getting out. It said, remember, staying down ain't quite as, ay. If you believe, yeah. Many doubted it was hard for them to think. Somehow I'm finally getting out of that's it. Usually, yeah, they vision clouded, but as you can see by now, we finally getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I know I'm getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I,
Up, motherfuckers, we are here with my boy Noize, and we just spontaneously decided to do this pod. This is like super unplanned. I was already gonna do a pod with my homegirl Corey this weekend. That's why I have my computer on me. And then Noize was telling me a story about how he got fired from his job recently, and I was like, yeah, we need to do a pod about this. Here we are. So before we get into that story, because people are going to be like, what the fuck if we just jump right into the story? Who is Noize? How do we know each other?
Wrecking Crew.
What's the Wrecking Crew?
Mayday, Recognize, Burns, Noms.
It's a music band.
Yes. Where do I start?
Where do we start? Where do we start? That's a good question. Thank you. I guess 2019... Recognize started the Wrecking Crew, and I joined, and Noize joined later that year, like early the next year.
2020, towards
early
the end.
2020.
Yeah.
So we're internet friends. It's like the second time we've hung out in person.
Yeah.
But the internet has changed the world, so it's like I feel like I know him.
Facts.
Even though we like kind of hardly know each other in the traditional sense, I feel like I know him at the same time, you know, which is tight. And he fucking gave us a place to stay. We're on our way to Jacksonville for a Mayday concert, which is going to be epic. But before we get to the story about how you got fired, because that's kind of what I want to center this around a little bit, but like, where'd you grow up? Like a little bit about yourself. How did you get into Mayday? And then like a little bit about like the concert that you went to, the one other time we've hung out in person, and like a little bit about the Wrecking Crew.
You're going to have to refresh me halfway through some of this because I'll probably forget as I'm going through it, ADHD and all that. But yeah, I'm an old man. I just turned 46. So yeah, doing online this stuff, this is a little awkward for me, but I'm giving it a go with my guy here. So yeah, I'm from Washington State originally. I was born in a small town called Longview, Washington, a little mill town in nowhere. Everybody that still lives there is probably on drugs or is just trying to raise a family on like minimum wage.
Is it like on the coast, like Pacific Northwest coast?
Yes, yes. It's like right on the Columbia River, about an hour up the river from Portland, Oregon. So right on the other side, just past Vancouver.
But not inland.
What do you mean by inland?
Not like close to Idaho.
No, not that. Not on that side of the mountains. No, it's on the
coast.
Side.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
you could drive to Seattle in 3 hours or drive an hour south to Portland.
Got it.
Yeah, the good old Northwest. Rains a lot out there. Very cold.
How old were you when you moved out of there?
How old was I? I want to say 27, 28.
Oh, you were there for a good chunk. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. No, I sold weed and, like everybody else I knew, or I tried to keep some,
now, by the
minimum
time you
wage
moved out,
job.
You're 46, so 28. That's 18 years ago. That's 2005. Was it legal? And it wasn't
No,
really legal there,
no.
right?
I never thought I'd see weed legalized anywhere ever
Gotcha.
in my lifetime.
So the recent developments over the last 10 years have surprised you?
Yes, it's fully legal in Washington now. So it's a definite change for me. Still legal out here in Georgia, but times are changing, apparently.
Well, we don't care, clearly.
Hey, progress is good. I like it. I'm not mad at it.
Right? So, I guess we can, at this point, well, all right, no, let's skip.
Yeah. So, well, you asked for some other stuff, like
Yeah.
how did I get into music and all that? Well,
Yeah.
So one of the good jobs that I did get in that small town was
It does record even.
was working in a casino. It had a nightclub, so I started bar backing there. I don't remember how old I was, 20, 21, something like that. And then eventually I became one of their bartenders. And then I actually was able to start doing DJing and stuff in the nightclub and bartending in the nightclub over there. So that was something that introduced me to music a lot. And, you know, I already loved music. My dad had a huge record collection. A lot of it's in the closet right now. But, yeah, huge record collection from, you know, all kinds of classic rock to... mainly their stuff was classic rock, Pat Benatar, you know, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, you know, that kind of thing. But then obviously I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s where hip hop was becoming very prevalent. You know, Tupac and Biggie in the 90s, that was huge. So I got heavily into hip hop from that. I listened to a lot of DJs, went to a lot of different kind of raves out there. I saw Dilated Peoples. Who's the other ones that just released their music on DSPs? What's the name of them?
De La Soul?
De La Soul. I saw them at a rave back in the 90s. Yeah, I saw all kinds of people back. I've been to so many concerts. I've been to Lollapaloozas and seen Jane's Addiction, Jurassic 5, all kinds of great bands.
So that's honestly like a good thing to hear, because if you're that well, you know, versed, I guess, is for lack of a better term, or just like, you know, soaked into music and the music culture.
Absolutely.
The fact that you're such a Mayday fan just speaks volumes to how dope they are, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel the same way, because I'm
very
into
versatile.
all
Yeah.
different types of music, and I don't care about genre, and I just care about how it hits me, you know, how the music feels, you know, and like Mayday is just like the fact that they're really truly impossible to generalize, you know, they are their own genre, they are their own sound, and like, and it's so good at the same time. Like, it's not just like some bullshit experimental, like, you know, it's like fucking
It's
tight,
it's
you know,
soulful,
smooth,
bluesy,
yeah, everything,
jazzy, hip hoppy,
everything,
rocky,
dude. Alternative,
punky,
punk, yeah, like
all of it. Yeah, exactly.
So good,
you know,
so good. The best.
And they leave out the country, and I'm okay with that because I'm not a fan.
But even
of country,
but I
honestly.
mean, they kind of they have a little bit of that. Like Golden Hour has a little bit of that.
I love Golden Hour. I don't think it has a country vibe. It has an acoustic vibe.
It's like a raw, like a grassroots vibe.
I would have never associated it as a country song, but now you're gonna make me not be able to unhear it.
It's got a little
especially with the kind of, it's almost a Western themed video too.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned
But they don't care, man. They don't care about all that bullshit. They're just making music that hit people in the heart.
Golden Hour is one of my favorite tracks on the album.
What's one?
Golden Hour.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, great track.
Absolutely.
That's a great album, dude.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I've always been a Stuck on an Island / Take Me to Your Leader. Like, they'll never touch.
Take Me to Your Leader, though. God damn, that's a good album.
Oh man,
Thinnest Line.
I never thought like
Thinnest Line, some of the older ones
between
too.
Take Me to Your Leader and
Thrift Store
Stuck
Halos
on an
got
Island.
some jams.
Thrift Store Halos is
Fuck,
dope.
man.
From that era, I never thought that they were gonna get to that again. But Minutes to Midnight was the first time since then where I was like, yo, this is fire.
Seven's production. Isn't that what a lot of that was?
A lot of it, but I mean, just in general, just the vibe. I mean, just regardless of the production and
No,
the
yeah, no, I mean,
engineering,
but
just-
he really captured the essence of old Mayday. He really, you know what I'm saying?
he's.
Like he understood the assignment.
Do you understand? All right, so this is a little bit this is a little bit tangential. But, he doesn't work with Tech anymore.
No, he
What?
left. He left Strange, and he doesn't even go by 7 anymore. He just goes by Mike Summers. If you look for him on DSPs, that's
Mike
all you'll
Summers,
see.
yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
But do you understand? Do you have any idea what happened there? I have no idea what happened there. Same. Okay. All right. We're on the same page.
I try to stay away from religion and politics.
Yeah. No, I feel you. You
know.
but he was.
That's political.
He
know.
was. That's not necessarily political in the music culture because he was the bedrock of fucking strange music for a
Well,
long
Cali
time.
left too.
Yeah, true. But I almost feel like 7 was even more foundational.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just weren't paying him his dues. You know, he fucking produced a lot of fucking bangers.
True.
That would be my guess. The money, you know, at the end of the day, what's most
lot of
important for most
artists
people is the
left
money.
around the same
How
time,
are they going to take care of their family? So, you know, if that's the case, I don't blame them.
Yeah, no.
You gotta get your money.
For sure. Well, between 28 and now, what's the story there?
Between win and win, I'm sorry.
Between moving out of the Pacific Northwest.
Fuck, man, a lot of other shit. So, yeah, so my parents divorced in 2000, and my mom essentially, you know, went as far away from Washington State as you could. South Florida, 4,000 miles away. You know, unless you leave the country, you can't get farther away from Washington State.
No doubt.
So she moved to Naples, Florida. I've been selling weed for a couple years, and you know, it's just a shitty town. Fucking people robbing each other. I had experienced a couple home invasions. Had to shoot somebody. So it was time I left.
You had to shoot somebody while living with your mom?
No, when I was living in Longview. Me and my buddy were selling weed out of the house. And some dudes tried to kick the door in and rob us. Somebody rang the doorbell at like 1 a.m.
You had a roommate?
Yeah, him and his girlfriend. They had the back room. I had the room next to him. And so, yeah, somebody rings the doorbell at like 1, 2 a.m. Just super random time. Very strange. I had been robbed at gunpoint previously, like a year before. So I had gotten a bolt-action .22 rifle, and it had a little clip. And I had loaded it with hollow point .22s, and I kept it right next to my bed. So when the doorbell rang, I just thought it was weird. So I cocked it, and I put it back down. And then doorbell rang again, and then there was a loud ruckus coming through the back, like laundry room. But so there's this back foyer that connects to the side of the back living room thing, and there's a laundry room that has a separate couple doors to get to the hallway and the living room. It's kind of complicated. So anyway, these guys come in. They don't really know where they're going. I hear the ruckus. Somebody opens my door. I look. I already have the gun in my hand at the time. I see that it's neither one of my roommates, so I give them a second to move. They do, and then I fire a shot into the wall, just a warning shot, essentially. Reload it, step out into the hallway. They're over him. They've got a sawed-off that he's trying to wrestle away from them because they stuck it in his face.
Your roommate?
Yeah, he's a little Vietnamese dude. He fucking grabbed it and tried to wrestle it away from him. You know what I'm saying? He was down on the ground. They were over top of him when I stepped out into the hallway. I saw that he was on the ground and that they were circled around above him, and I fucking fired right into the middle of them, and I hit one of the dudes right in the shoulder. They dipped, dropped the gun, rode right the fuck out the back door the way they came in. Their gun wasn't loaded. It was just this piece of shit fucking sawed off. Like, it was like they tried to cut the handle even, and there, because of the metal rod, like you could spin it around. It was a joke. But it was a serious situation. They probably would have tied us up, robbed us, beat us. Who the fuck knows?
If you hadn't had a weapon.
Yes.
Right.
So I saved our lives as far as I was concerned. my buddy was a felon, so he took the sawed off in my gun. I wasn't supposed to have a gun either. So he took it and hid out back in the trailer out behind the house. While his girlfriend, she panicked and called the cops, because when it started happening, she went and hid under the bed in the bedroom and called the police. You know, they're robbing the house, blah, 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 whatever. So they show up fucking in vests, fucking assault rifles. They're like, back out of the house with your hands up. So we back out of the house with our hands up. They fucking have the guns on us. They rush past us into the house and clear the house. And so they had taken off and ran back down the jetty the way they got into the neighborhood. They never caught him, but I heard that the guy that I shot ended up going to a hospital over in Oregon, because obviously he got shot while he was trying to do a robbery. He couldn't report it, you know what I'm saying? And I was a felon too at the time for selling weed, because everybody's got charges for selling weed back home. Fuck yeah, that was a crazy situation. So I was like, yeah, it's high time I get the fuck out of this town. And so yeah, I moved down to Naples with a couple buddies of mine. We drove down fucking all the way.
From the Pacific Northwest, you drove?
Yep, we drove.
Whew.
Yep. That was a fucking mission and a half. Got to Naples, tried to pick up a bartending job. Ended up getting back into fucking selling weed and doing pills.
Like Xannies?
Like
Perks.
Percocets and Vicodins. Oxycodone was very prevalent at the time. The the little blue 80s.
No, I never got into pills.
Okay, well, and anybody old that did drugs knows all about those. That shit's highly addictive. I do not condone any of the shit that I did in my past, which was quite a bit of drugs. I'm not gonna lie.
Weed.
Yeah. So, fuck, we're getting way off track here, man.
It's all good. No. We're never on track. We're still on track.
Shit. So I'm waiting tables at a Perkins. I'm living with my buddies. We got a house over in Naples. I'm also selling weed. I know this dude that I've been partying with, fucking, and some of his friends, South Florida. There's a lot of coke. He sells coke.
Imagine.
Fucking, there's girls everywhere. So there's this one girl that I saw really just a few times. She was a friend of a girl that I was into. Anyway, this bitch ended up setting me up. She had drug charges against her. For like methadone, a bunch of other fucking nasty shit. And so the rule is like name 3, go free down there. And I guess I was one of the 3 she named. She basically was like, yeah, this is my cousin or whatever. He's trying to get some coke. And I didn't sell coke. I sold weed. But she knew I could get the coke from my buddy. So I get him fucking, a couple ounces. I should have known better. I was fucking, I was high and dumb at the time. Naive fucking kid. And
A couple ounces of coke.
On the first buy. And then I had a little safe in my closet. And then they were setting up another buy for 4 more ounces. And they ended up canceling that evening and not coming for it. So I put it in the safe. House got raided at like 9 a.m. the next day. Fucking full SWAT team, concussion grenade, blew out the windows. They came in, zip tied us. Fucking
DEA?
No, just the local sheriff and police. So I went to prison for 4.25 months or something like that for trafficking cocaine. Yeah, so let's just fast forward through the prison part and like a year of work release in Fort Lauderdale. So that was where I ended up getting out, because Fort Lauderdale was the closest I could get to Naples in South Florida, because they had put me in prison up on the Panhandle at some shitty ass place like 30 minutes from Alabama. So Yeah, I get out of prison. I'm in South Florida, and I'm trying to rebuild my life. So I start working at this call center selling AT&T and Verizon business services. This is where I start learning how to talk on the phone.
How old are you at this
and
point?
Sell. Fuck. I went to prison when I was like
29.
28, 29, yeah, something like that. So 34, 35.
Yeah, my age now, basically.
Yeah, something like that. So I lost a little chunk of my life there the hard way. And yeah, so call center. So I start working in call centers because like it's hard to get a job as a felon in fucking work release
Anywhere.
And if you can't get a fucking job, they send you back to prison to finish the rest of your time. And so I'm taking any fucking job I can get. So this call center, fucking couple dudes in the work release work there, and they're like, yo, come down to this place with us tomorrow. We could definitely get you a fucking job. You know, it's like a boiler room fucking, you know, it's literally some Wolf of Wall Street shit. So I go down there and fucking the hiring manager lady, she's like, do you know what we do? And I'm like, not really. She's like, do you think you could do it? And I'm like, yeah, I can do anything. And she's like, all right, you're hired. So I started fucking like the next day and yeah, cold calling, fucking, you know, trying to get business owners on the phone, trying to get past their secretaries and their gatekeepers and, you know, trying to, you know, learning how to talk my way past motherfuckers on the phone to try to sell them. And that's how I got to doing sales where I'm at right now. But
For a lawyer, law firm.
yes. But there's a large period. So the call center I was working for needed an IT guy. My mom is a computer programmer, and so I was raised with computers. Like I can build computers, I can maintain, program, all that shit. So I was like, yo, let me work on some of your shit until you find somebody, you know, let me fill the position until you find somebody better.
Yeah.
Right? And they never bothered finding anybody better. So I just basically faked it till I made it as their IT guy for a number of years. Like 3 years I worked for them probably. Then I started doing IT for another guy. He did a call center selling, we're calling you because your car's warranty is up.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he had one of those. So I was his IT guy. I set up his call center and shit for that. Ran his phone system. At that time, fentanyl was coming around. And so I started fucking with that dumb shit.
You like doing it?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was pretty heavy into the opiates and shit.
Do you snort that?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because I was, you know, you couldn't get oxys or anything like that anymore. And then, like, my buddy had this real, like, watered down version of fentanyl that you could snort and it wouldn't, like, kill you, obviously. But some of it started getting mixed with that Flocka shit, which basically kind of makes you black out and not even remember some shit. So I had a couple bad experiences with that. Nothing insanely bad, but enough to wise me up to it. Yeah. So I was still doing the drugs and shit. I was walking home one day I went to Publix. I was carrying groceries home one day and I tripped on the pavement. Granted, I was high at the time, so, you know, I probably wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, but I tripped on the pavement carrying groceries so I don't catch myself right, and I kind of spin and I land on my hip and I break it. So, yeah.
You're like 37 at this point?
Yeah, so full hip replacement. No, this was like 5 years ago. So I'm like 40 at this point.
Got you.
Break my hip.
You were a paralegal already.
No, I was just doing IT. Yeah, so this injury is what got me into personal injury.
Okay.
Honestly, so my good friend Charles, who I worked with in that very same call center, the Verizon business to business, he was also in work release because he did some home invasion shit. He did like some kidnapping shit. Like he was a little wild. He's a super adult, super family man. You would not know it now, but so we got along pretty good.
So we got along.
He still smokes weed. We talk frequently. But anyway, so he was doing Cantor and Pintaluga. They're a big law firm in South Florida, and they moved up here into Georgia. So he was working for them as a paralegal, and he started doing their 411 pain campaign, which is essentially taking phone calls, vetting the case, signing them up to the firm, maybe setting them up with some treatment or whatever the case may be, and that's it. He'd get paid commissions and all kinds of shit off that. He had a little team, and he's like, look, I know you're fucked up. If you want to come up here, I'll give you a place to stay and I'll teach you how to do this job. You can work from home right here in the basement next to me, because he was working from home in his basement, computer, phone, that's all you need. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, I need to do that, because I was fucked up trying to heal. I got this big old scar still. I couldn't climb up and down ladders and shit like I was doing, laying cat six.
I haven't had a
through
hip
drop
injury per
ceilings
se, like specifically, but I had my feet run over by a forklift, so I know all about traumatic recovery.
So yeah, there's that. And so yeah, I moved to Georgia, fucking like 5 years ago. From South Florida, from Hollywood,
Right. Oh, so from where Wreking burns, basically, yeah.
From where Wreck has lived, for quite a long time.
Did you know him before the rise of Mayday?
So when I lived in South Florida, in Naples, a friend of mine, can't think of his name right now because I'm really high. He's got this goatee and blonde hair.
He introduced you to Mayday?
Yeah, basically, he's like, yo, check these dudes out. He's like, I know these dudes. Him and a couple of his buddies had actually met them, and this was like fucking
2011 or something, 2009.
Fuck, man,
2010, something like that.
Well, it was after I got out of prison, so it was 2010. Yeah, so this is like... Fuck, I can't even think of what albums they had just put out back then.
Stuck on an Island.
Stuck on an Island was probably, yeah. And then, yeah, so that's...
And they had like the, what was that one called? Like Lord of the Flies or some shit?
Lord of the Flies. Yeah, there was a whole bunch. So anyway, I started following them on Facebook. And one day... they did a post. They're like, yeah, we're going to be down on such and such beach down here in Miami. If anybody wants to come out, we're going to have a fucking barbecue. Come chill. So me and my girl at the time.
Mayday?
Yeah.
Okay. And what year is this? Is this 2012 or?
Oh, fuck. Yeah. I mean, this was, probably somewhere around then. Shit. I can't even remember at this point. I'm old, man. It's hard to remember things now.
Nah, dude. We were just talking about that earlier.
The older I get, the harder it is.
That's why I was asking you the questions I was asking you. I was like, when did we meet? Like, when did you join the Wrecking crew?
I need a refresher too.
This shit's all running together with me.
Yeah, I get it. Fuck. Where are we? Where am I at? I'm past 2010. I'm out of prison.
You're meeting Mayday at the barbecue or something. They said the barbecue or something. Said something about come out to the barbecue. Mayday posted something.
Yeah. So we go out to this barbecue.
2012-ish.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. I'm gonna fucking head out here and fucking, I guess, maybe meet these dudes. So yeah, they're out there.
This is back when it was still a 6-piece band, right?
I got pictures on my phone somewhere.
Plex was still in the band, and LT, and who was the sixth member? Was it Gianni Cash?
Yep, Gianni.
What did he? Was he another percussionist like Noms? I forget exactly what he did.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit of he did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the production and the beats. Plex was all over the place too.
But he is also mostly a bassist.
Yeah.
But they're all like into music. They all understand like music theory at its deepest level.
Like Thrift Store Halos when you got them all on the cover there.
Right.
All 6 of them.
Dad's Stuck on an Island joint. I got that hanging in my house. It's still unopened. Unopened unopened vinyl in its fucking plastic packaging in a fucking frame, hanging in my house.
Yeah, no, I had to crack them and play them.
I should have bought a second
I
copy
did at
to
least
actually
play them once, you know.
right?
I have a bunch of vinyl, so I'm okay with just, you know, it's all right.
Yeah. That's
It's vinyl. I gotta feel it and play it. I gotta see the colors and the.
I don't even remember because
You know?
I'm already like a little intoxicated. But if this was on the podcast or not, but I want to say it again, even if it was on the podcast. Like
He did the red and black splatter one.
Stuck on an Island and fucking Taking Me to Your Leader were like. I never thought they would match it. Like I love Search Party. I love Future Vintage. I love
Then they came in. All right, it's time for this shameless Believers plug.
Yeah, of course, we're going to be.
That's the 10-year we're going to.
That's what we're going to see tomorrow as a Believers. But like smash and grab, like
Thinnest Line.
Take me to your.
I keep saying Thinnest Line.
Thrift store Halo. All both of the Thinnest Lines, like all of it's dope. There's nothing Mayday's put out that's not dope. But Minute to Midnight, to me, was the closest to Stuck on an Island and Take Me to Your Leader. Because those two albums, for me, to me, it happens to a lot of my favorite artists. Like their early albums, like either their late mixtapes or their early albums are like some of my favorite stuff. And to me, for a lot of artists, they never match that again. They never reach that level again. But with Minute to Midnight, Mayday really did for me. Like, it's hard because I'm a traditionalist or conservative on a philosophical level. Fuck politics, but like, you know, sentimental. You could maybe use that word.
The politics of all the people that left the band.
Fuck politics. I'm talking about like just like I get attached to things that I love. You know?
Yeah, no.
And like
of course. Nobody likes change.
Stuck on an Island and Take Me to Your Leader were albums for me that I was like, they're never gonna, like, no matter how awesome it is, like, they're never gonna be able to do that again, you know. But with Minute to Midnight, I was like, damn, this is fucking ridiculous, like so good, start to finish.
I wasn't a fan of how they released it all in parts.
But that wasn't I don't think that was their call.
Was it Strange did that? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I can't remember.
They were experimenting with the way they released things at the time because they did that with a few other albums.
So if I have to make a vote, it's give me the whole album at once. Just I don't mind waiting a little longer.
Maybe a few singles, like 2 or 3 singles.
Well, yeah, I'm
singles
okay with
are
that.
fine, but like 3 EPs and then
I mean, tease
5
me,
extra
tease
songs.
me, and then give it to me. Don't just like. I don't know.
It was weird. They had like the three EPs that were like 4 songs apiece.
That's not how you do foreplay, okay?
And then like 5 more songs to complete the whole album was just like kind of a little different for sure. But at the end of the day, 17 tracks, 1 intro, 16 tracks of fire, no skips.
No, that's great.
So all of that to get to this point. Now you're in Georgia, been working at a law firm. For how many years were you at that job?
I was actually only working for Charles for like 6 months, but it was long enough for me to pick up the basics of
so where were you before? You were a paralegal before that, though, right?
No, I was a hustler.
Wait.
I sold weed. I fucking
in 2020. So when you
sold
started
shit
with
on
the
the
Wrecking
phone.
Crew, you weren't a paralegal. I thought you were a paralegal by the time you got a Wrecking Crew. That was around the same time you got.
Yes, that's when I got so here's what happened. So I was only so he lost the campaign with the 411 Pain campaign with Cantor and Pentaluga.
Who?
Over some beef. Charles, the guy I was working for.
Okay. He lost what campaign?
He basically lost the contract to take those calls and
with like the state or something?
No, with that law firm, Cantor and Pentaluga. That's the name of the law firm that owns 411 Pain, which is so dial 411 Pain. You know, it's a huge thing here in Georgia. Like, if you've lived here over the last 10 years, you know what 411 Pain is. Cantor and Pentaluga is the law firm that owns that phone number, and the business that is the people that answer those phone calls and essentially answer the questions about your injury case and see if it's a good case for the firm or not, if it has any value, if you're actually injured, if because there's a lot of things that will disqualify your injury case and ruin the value of it.
Like what? The only reason I asked is because I went through an injury case myself. Okay, so if you didn't go to like physical therapy, chiropractic treatment, that sort of thing.
So if you get into a wreck, if your vehicle, even gets damn near totaled and you don't seek any treatment for like a month or two, then the insurance company is going to argue that you weren't really injured in the accident. If you really were, you would have sought treatment immediately. And now you're just trying to make a frivolous claim, and you might have some chiro visits. Chiros aren't real doctors. They're not going to put any real value on your case. They might pay you a couple grand for pain and suffering, and that's all your case is going to be worth. But if you go to the ER...
Oh, no. You can hit it yourself. So, no, we'll cut this part out. So with chiro, so I did chiro. Well, physical therapy. So the physical therapy, is that looked at more seriously than chiro, I guess?
Yeah. So
anything that's insurable.
An ER bill.
Anything insurable.
If you take an ambulance to the ER, that's a serious bill. It means you were injured enough to take an ambulance to the fucking ER, which is is going to be an
with my experience. I had my feet run over by a forklift, so of course.
Right, so that is immediately going to add a good chunk of value to your case. Right. But then you're going to want to get some consistent treatment, at least 1 week after that, consistently.
What type of treatment are you talking about, though?
Chiro visits are placeholders.
Okay.
They're placeholders for real treatment.
I did that way after.
Realistically, you need to go to an orthopedic doctor.
Of course, I did that, but I went to
what do they call it? Send you to a radiologist to get an MRI done.
I did all that shit.
The MRI is like a snapshot.
I didn't do an MRI, but I went to a neurologist.
And CTs can't see.
I did a...
MRIs will add thousands of dollars to your case. I
think they might have even done an MRI. I can't even remember. It was a traumatic experience.
Your medical bills are the evidence that prove your injuries.
They definitely did the X-rays.
And create the value of your case. Well, X-rays are cool, but they don't show muscle tears or disc bulges in your spine that may be pressing up against nerves that might be causing numbness and tingling on one side of your body and not the other side of the body.
I don't even know.
You might have severe whiplash that gives you a traumatic brain injury,
I wasn't
mild
in a car
concussion.
Accident. I had my feet run over by a forklift.
The human body's fragile. I'm fucked up, man. I know from personal experience the human body is hella fragile,
but it's hella resilient too, though.
To a point.
Yeah, to a point.
I'm dealing with the pain of my hip, and
I'm still dealing with the pain of my feet being run over.
I dislocated my shoulder when I was in prison.
Right.
I deal with the pain in my shoulder. It hurts.
But I feel like it's better to.
Sure, you get used to the pain, but who the fuck wants to get used to the pain?
At the same time,
the fact of the matter is, I am in pain all the fucking time from my injuries. The older I get, the worse my pain gets.
And of course,
if you get into an accident and it's somebody else's fault, you should absolutely go after their insurance. We don't sue the people directly. We're not taking their assets. They have vehicle insurance for a reason.
Yeah.
You should have an attorney
that's
strong, aggressive, knows how to get you the solid treatment that you need. If you have even if you don't think you're injured, go get checked out on their fucking dime, man. Like, you might have some underlying issues that you don't even realize you have until 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, and you're going to fuck up your case waiting that long. Get yourself checked out on their dime. Why the fuck not? That's what their insurance is for. Take care of yourself.
No, that's 100%. That's 100%. But do you also feel like, and then maybe this is idealistic or hippie-ish or whatever, but like on a more like holistic level, don't you feel like our bodies are self-healing machines when we're like eating properly, eating like a balance?
My shit's not self-healing. This shoulder's not. I'm gonna have to get a surgery on this because I tore the rotator cuff. It doesn't heal. They say it's only a matter of time before it dislocates again. Those are the statistical fucking numbers.
No, there's something to that for sure. I just also feel that
I mean,
There
I'd love
isn't,
to like reclone some shit and I don't know, stem cell, whatever kind of shit they got going on nowadays.
Yeah, they do.
Hook
That's
me
what I'm
up.
saying. That's what
Hook
I'm saying.
me up, because I got a big chunk of metal down here, ceramic. I got a screw that goes up into my pelvic bone. The X-ray is gnarly as fuck when you look at the artillery or whatever the fuck I got in me over here.
Yeah, I still believe that it definitely put something in my toe. Like it's if you look at it, I'll show you. I won't. It probably won't show up on the camera, but like, you see that little like bulge
What'd you
right
do to
there?
your toe, man?
Oh, so they partially amputated it.
Yeah, I would say it looks like you don't have a toenail. They cut this shit off.
No,
huh?
it's.
It looks like my grandpa's thumb.
That's 3/4.
My grandfather was a carpenter, a master carpenter, and he had one of those big saw tables in his garage.
Like a miter saw.
And he fucking took that much of his thumb off, and they had to like try to reattach it or whatever. And it all looked fucked up ever since.
Yeah, so that's
yeah, exactly.
3/4 of a toe right there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
The forklift ran right like this. So like barely, it didn't really damage this toe. But
Were you
it was
working
just,
at the time?
Yeah. So
workers' compensation.
I don't want to like talk too much about it because
You can't go into case details. I get that.
But
I know for a fact that workers' compensation places a value on certain body parts, and if you get a certain disability rating,
let me finish though, because you're gonna
yada
be
yada
you're gonna
yada.
be like, what the fuck? The driver of the forklift was.
Well, that's complicates things.
Not only that.
So it's getting even more muddled.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then so he runs over my forklift, runs over my feet with a forklift. The only reason I'm even there is under the guise of volunteering.
So you're not
preemptively.
on. So you're not on payroll. You're not W-2 employee or
He's
anything.
paying me under the table.
Ugh.
He's paying me under the table.
So was he honorable in any form or another with any of your medical bills or expenses, or did he just?
He claimed he was gonna be
leave you high and dry.
I didn't know what to do. Like I decided to go with a lawyer because at the end of the day, it was like trust him to pay all my medical bills 100%, which he probably even would have done, or like hire an attorney and just have him take care of it and know that he has liability insurance, and they claim that I'm an asshole and like disassociate me from the family.
So how did all that play out?
I'm not allowed at my family reunion.
But did you get paid?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I bought a house.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, but I lost family members.
Yeah. I mean, if
people I thought were family, but like
exactly,
if you can't like level with me or even like have a discussion with me about what happened. Like, I'm not saying he did
if they don't want to be family with you over money.
Over money, right? And they make me out to be the money hungry person because I hire a lawyer to take care of it for me.
No, you absolutely should have. You did the right thing.
Yeah,
honestly,
dude.
I wouldn't have.
I wasn't trying to hurt their feelings, but they got their feelings hurt, which just proves that you're not actually that cool. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're my family, why are you upset that I hired a lawyer when you have insurance to pay for this? Like, I'm not going after any of your personal money. If it had gone over the limit of what your insurance policy covered, I would have not done it. Like, I would have just stopped at the limit, you know? I wasn't trying to hurt my family.
That's what I said. Did he try to be honorable at all, or?
Not. He didn't even talk to me about it. He acted like I was the fucking problem.
So yeah, you did the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, dude. For real. But it's even more complicated than that because
no, I know.
He's in it.
Yeah. No, I get it.
They're both good people at heart.
From originally?
Huh?
Where are you from originally?
Eastern, like Middle Peninsula of Virginia.
Okay.
Like
so I need to interview you. Where's your history?
Where John Smith fucking got stung by the stingray and Pocahontas and shit. Like I don't even know if it's a real story, but supposedly it's real.
Okay.
That's like where it happened, you know, like where I grew up. Like super historically, like indigenous murder, genocidal.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're here. You seem like cool people. Let's steal all your like knowledge about how you grow crops and shit because it looks like y'all are
have these blankets. You should take.
You know
these
what?
blankets.
Yeah, you should take these blankets because they got magical
Smallpox
powers.
or some shit. Yeah, they'll keep you super warm. Yeah. So warm, you'd be sweating.
Yeah. Wild. A wild area. I grew up right on that water that they probably fucking landed on the shore right there.
White people, Jesus, what have we done?
Insanity. But all of that to say, so you've worked in this personal injury atmosphere /, like personal injury attorney world for.
Well, let me get back on track with the timeline here. That job ended. I basically had to pick up a job. I just went on Indeed, was looking for some IT jobs. I found an IT job in Duluth with this Christian media company. They were called Legacy International. Yeah, this is a trip, right? So I'm like, okay, this is all right. I'll go check this place out. So I didn't really know that they were a Christian media company at first. It was Legacy International. They were looking for an IT guy. They actually reached out to me on Indeed. Like, I didn't apply to them. They reached out to me, and they're like, "Come, you want to come for an interview, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not?" So I go down there, and they fucking gave me the job, paying me. What were they paying me? 58 grand. What a bad little piece.
This was like 5 years ago.
What a bad little piece for a little IT job. Yeah, this was No, this was was this 3.5 years ago. It was right before I started with CEO Lawyer.
Like 2019, 2020, early 2020. Right when COVID hit.
Yeah, exactly. It was COVID summer. It was 2020. Fucking, it was like June or July or some shit. It was like the beginning of the summer. I only worked there for 3 months. So yeah, they had a whole set. They had it was like a warehouse office building. It was massive. This huge ass place in Duluth, set off in the trees. Real pretty area. They were offering me a bunch of money, so I started working there. Fucking, like I said, they had a bunch of movie sets and shit. Like they shot their own Christian TV shows. Like they had a bunch of other Christian like televangelists that would come and they would talk to them on their show, and fucking they had this whole like little interview area set up that looked all nice. It had the backdrops and shit. Behind it was just all bullshit, obviously. Everything there's fake books and all the bullshit, setting scenery around you, carpet, all that cool little stuff. Bunch of cameras. They had the big the swing arm camera one and shit, and they had a guy that operated that. So yeah, I was doing their IT for them. They wanted me to build a little call center, so I turned one of their little studios actually into a call center. I set up a bunch of cubicles, I wired them all, I set up the computers, I set up the headsets and the voice over IP soft phones on the computers, the whole nine. I made them a little call center in there. I don't know what the fuck was going on internally. They hired some new fucking operations director, whatever the fuck. This dude came in, started firing this dude. Fucking, they wanted to fire me. Fucking, but like, they didn't want to fire him. They wanted to they didn't want me to be in IT. They wanted me to like go be the production guy's fucking lackey or some shit. They're like, we'll still pay you the same amount, but you got to go do this. And I said no.
There's something about it didn't feel right.
I said no because I knew this is a really shady fucking, the owner was super shady. His office was extremely beautiful and huge and decked the fuck out. It was crazy. But like they were embezzling money, or there was a lot of weird accounting shit that didn't add up. People kept getting fired and replaced, and like there was just too many moving parts. It was like they were trying to keep the right hand from seeing what the left hand was doing constantly. So I knew there was definitely something shady going on. I wanted to get the fuck out of there. So I just said no and I quit. They gave me a decent severance, like a couple grand. Because I had to turn over all the passwords and all the shit, because I had full access to their systems, obviously. So the new guy had to come in. It was actually the new guy. The guy they replaced me with was like the brother-in-law of the owner. So super nepotism high right there.
Yeah.
This dumb shit. So it was enough for me to chill for a little bit, pay my rent, and figure out what I was going to do next. And then my boy calls me up. Charles calls me up. He says, "Hey, I'm working for this guy, the CEO lawyer, Ali Awad Law. The CEO's name is Ali Awad. He always jokes we're going to get you a wad of money. He's Palestinian. So that whole political thing that's going on right now with Palestine and Israel."
You're still associated with him now?
I mean, he's in my contacts. I still talk to him.
Okay, but you're not.
But I mean,
professionally.
I worked for him for 3 fucking years.
Gotcha.
I ran his fucking intake department. He's Muslim. He's good people. Ali started his law firm 6 years ago out of the trunk of his car when he got out of law school. It was just him and a few other people. When I started, he had basically just let Charles take over taking the phone calls and vetting the cases. Until then, Ali was doing it all himself, essentially. So Charles was doing that for about 5 or 6 months by himself, like 24/7 on call, 7 days a week. And he needed help. And I let him know what was going on because I stayed in contact all the time with him. So he's like, "Yeah, bro, I need help. You want to come work for me? Like, this dude's pretty cool. Check him out online. If you look him up, CEO lawyer, he's got a ton of social media. That's what he's really known for, his Instagram and his Facebook game. Lots of very educational videos. He's very charismatic.
Regarding
and he's,
like
and
the
he's
legal
smart.
system?
He's smart as shit. I got to give him his props. He fucking taught me a lot. Cantor and Pintaluga, they didn't teach us shit about the law or how to really fucking vet cases. Ali really he taught me a lot. So
Discernment.
yes. How to really, what's a good case, how, with somebody's bullshitting you, all that shit. So me and Charles, we were heading that shit up by ourselves for 6 months. So it was basically 7 days a week, but then we were splitting the shifts up now. We were both working 12-hour days essentially on call, taking calls all day long, even on the weekends. I was living by myself in Duluth. I got in a place. I was single at the time, so I was just grinding, making the money, doing the thing. I took a real pay loss to go work for him because I was making 58, you know what I'm saying? And he started me at fucking 42. Yeah, that sucked. But I was living by myself. I really didn't have shit for bills. I was paying $1,000 a month, included all my shit. So yeah, I worked my way up, became a, senior intake specialist. We started getting more people below us. I eventually became manager of the department. At the beginning of this year, around March, Charles had essentially been capped at about $100K, and he knew he couldn't make any more money with Ali. So he had an opportunity to go work for D. Miller and Associates in Houston, Texas, making the same amount, but with the promise of it, potentially being something bigger. So he went out there and he started working for them. And so there was a power vacuum to fill because he was the intake director and I was the intake manager. So I became the intake director. As the manager, I think I was making 60 something, low 60s. But because it was like my 2 years, so I had a raise at the beginning of 2023, which bumped me up to 72. And then when he left in March, I laid it down on Ali. I was like, "Yo, I have big plans for the department. I'm gonna do a bunch of shit. I want to get rid of some people, bring in some new people. I want to do a whole bunch of different things." And so I got a pay raise up to 90K, and I had the company Amex, and I had the MacBook Pro and the iPhone 12, all the shit that went along. Killing it in life, yeah. Especially for somebody who comes from a fucking drug dealer town bullshit background, who went to fucking prison for trafficking cocaine.
Yeah, I never did that, but I still feel you.
never thought he would be in the world that he's in now of attorneys and law firms. It's like, it still blows my mind, honestly. So yeah, it was going really good.
And now we reached the point where
the software,
the whole point of this conversation.
Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna lead up a little more to that, but we've got software and shit that we use there that a lot of other law firms use, and I got really good at using it because I had basically IT administrative access to the software that we used for the sales department, for the intake department, and because of my IT background, I killed that shit even more. I set up a bunch of automatic scripts that send out automatic messages and all kinds of shit whenever you change different phases within the system. It's like a CRM system to follow up with your clients and, input new leads and, call them, follow up, and make sure you're staying on top of your signups, and there's chase phases and all kinds of shit. Anyway, so I built out this whole ass system for him that a lot of other firms that use this software still haven't done yet. The current firm I'm with still hasn't fully built out theirs yet. So it's one of the things I'm bringing to the table here now, but that's kind of one of the things I wanted to add. But anyway, so I was killing the position. Sales were going up. We were literally doing double the sales we were doing from last year after Charles left.
In terms of taking injury cases?
After Charles left, I took over as the director position, and I really...
And he's the one that put you on to begin with?
Yep.
That's what's up.
Yep.
So you filled his position
more
than adequately.
Yes. Oh yeah, he knew I'd knock it out the park, and I totally did. All kinds of stuff that I implemented to grow this department and make it so it prospers and like it really works automatically. You know what I'm saying? I use ChatGPT to help me write a lot of these scripts, make sure the spelling is correct. If I needed it translated into Spanish, because we would have Spanish clients too. So if they're marked as Spanish in the system and you're sending these follow-up messages, it'll send them in Spanish versus in English.
Yeah, ChatGPT is wonderful.
Yeah, no. So the system I built out for them was super awesome. It increased the amount of follow-ups and responses they were getting. When you mark them as signed up, it automatically sends them a message asking them to leave us a review. It gives them the link right there. All they got to do is click on the link and they can leave us a review just like that. That upped our reviews by like 200 reviews. So it helped a lot. I really, like I said, I did a lot for that fucking...
So how did it go sour?
So basically when I left, there was 5 people below me. I had 5 sales agents and 3 virtual assistants, 2 in Colombia and 1 in Spain, that helped us do
Colombia, South America?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not Colombia, South Carolina.
This is a fully remote position. I'm working.
No, I got you, but there's a Colombia, South Carolina too.
Oh, yeah, no, South America, yeah, and
the country.
One guy over in Spain, yeah. They got really heavy, thick Spanish accents. The whole team is bilingual except for me. I'm very poquito español. That's my main job. I got to learn Spanish better.
So does every English-speaking person in this country at this point, if you want to make some real bread.
Yes. I mean, knowing multiple languages has always served people to make money. You know what I'm saying? The more people you can communicate with. I know
this is a semi-tangent, but do you consider mathematics a language?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am very adept.
It's probably
at
the universal language.
It is the universal language. In my opinion, it is the universal. Mathematics is the
because if there was aliens and you were going to try to communicate with them, math would be the way to go.
The only way to do it, because math is math regardless of what language
ones and zeros are the same.
Well, not only the ones and zeros, but geometry.
Yeah, that too. Yep. All that.
You can call it 360 degrees, and that might have its own
deep into it, yeah.
Code as far as verbally, the sound that we make in English.
Pi and the phi.
But 360 degrees is 360 degrees. Regardless of what language you speak,
the golden
mathematics knows what 360 degrees means. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I was a math prodigy.
The world has math built into it.
I was taking.
I forgot I took
calculus
chocolate earlier.
Like,
It's probably helping me right now with the conversation.
Math was always my strength, for sure.
I was always good at math. I was always good in school. I had ADHD. So, I was distracted all the time. It was everything was
I had
easy.
Undiagnosed ADHD.
Everything was easy for me. So I could do all the work in my head. They'd give me a sheet of work and I'd just write out answers. I wouldn't write the work out, and they lost their fucking mind every time. They're
yeah. How did you get
there?
there?
You don't do the work, you don't get credit for it.
Right.
So they're like, you got to redo it. So
like,
this made me fucking.
So I'm not allowed to do it in my head.
This whole scenario made me hate school.
My consciousness doesn't count for anything.
I ended up dropping out in the 10th grade and going and getting my GED within a month.
Yeah, I mean, if I was your age, I probably it was totally different by the time I was around, and then even like a couple years after me, it was totally different after that. Like they've changed it,
I've always been smart.
A few times.
I just was in a, I don't know, this shitty town to fucking grow up in. It's weird.
Smart is different depending on like
everybody that's left there that I'm still in contact with.
The environment
their life
of what's considered smart
gotten way better.
Yeah.
I had a rocky path, but I eventually found my way to something good here.
So all right, so how did you lose that most recent job?
Here's how we lost the job. Holy shit! Fuck! Is
it a Discord group?
It's still hard to fathom. We used Slack, or no, used to use Slack. They were using Zoom. Zoom has voice over IP functionality now, so you can make phone calls through it, and it has a whole chat thing just like Slack or Discord. Mm-hmm. You can send GIFs and images and all kinds of bullshit in the chat, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I have a chat there on Zoom with my intake team. There's this girl that I had hired, my most recent hire. She'd only been there for a couple months. Single mother with 4 kids. She had left an abusive relationship in Texas, so I was really trying to be lenient with this girl and give her chances, but she just kept not doing her work. She kept, she would disappear, You're working from home, so if somebody messages you, you should be able to reply pretty quickly. What's your excuse? So sometimes it'd be 20 minutes before we get any kind of reply out of her. And it wasn't just me that was noticing it. It was like my main guy below me, Jose. He's my top salesman. That's my guy right there. He's probably got my job now. He was even complaining about her. So we had even written her up. I had to write her up one time because one of the other things that I started doing to make the department really good was I started listening to all their calls and auditing them. I would listen in live sometimes because Zoom would let me do that. I heard her on a call one time and her kids are in the background and she's talking to this client and there's a bunch of noise in the background. The kids are yelling and hooting and hollering and she screams really loud, "Stop it!" Like she didn't mute it or nothing. So the customer heard it or the client. And if he wasn't like a returning client, he probably wouldn't have hired us. He probably would have hired some other firm because of that. I guarantee it. And so I do these audit reports and I send them to Ali. He saw that and he said, "You got to write her up for it." Mm-hmm. So I had to get with HR. We wrote her up for it, obviously. Her behavior really didn't get any better. So obviously, we were auditing even more of her calls and, obviously trying to looking to get rid of her because she needed to either shape up or ship out. And she wasn't shaping up. So we go to her brother's funeral last month, like a week or two before.
To Tiffany's funeral, not...
To Tiffany's, Tiffany's.
Not the coworker.
Yes, sorry. Tiffany's brother, he died the month before last. We don't need to go into that, but we had to go out to the funeral like a week before my birthday, August 22nd, just a little bit ago here. We went out for that. We came back. Like the day we came back, I had tickets for the Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, that college tour thing that they were doing. They came through Atlanta here, so I was like, I had gotten tickets for that for my birthday like 6 months prior, back in fucking February or some shit. So I've been waiting for this a long time. So we went, had a great fucking time. It was an amazing show. Cannot lie about that. But I took some footage on my phone when Snoop first came out and started his set. You know, they push him out in the 6'4" Impala, smokes all around him. He's sitting in it, driving it out. It's fucking looking slick as shit. They've got these huge fucking monitors and everything's just badass looking. You know, we're tipsy and I got a bunch of joints and we're pretty wasted. And so I'm start filming it, and, you know, he starts walking around the stage and I zoom in. I had a bunch of footage, Wiz Khalifa footage, all that. Anyway, so I posted that video in that chat for my team to see. You know, I had a good time at my birthday. You know, this is what I did. Here, check out Snoop. You know, I thought they would dig it. I didn't think anything of it. In the background of the video, on the sides of the stage, he has pole dancers. They're not naked. They do have bikinis on. But there's pole dancers. So because that was in the footage, this girl essentially used this video that I posted and threw me under the bus with HR and claimed sexual harassment.
Like, you were harassing her by sending...
So if you really, yeah, so she,
honestly,
if you really think about this, it seems like she probably did this to somebody before, honestly, because she really knew what the fuck she was doing, obviously. Because who the fuck would do this to somebody, right? Like, so if you really look at the HR guidelines, it says that even suggestive images, if they make somebody feel like it's, you know, some type
uncomfortable.
Yes, exactly. And that's what she fucking said. She
right.
said that shit made her feel uncomfortable, like I was objectifying women or her, apparently, who
right.
I had never even interacted with really in real life other than over Zooms and shit.
Right.
Like, maybe, you know, we met obviously at firm events, but like that was it. That's the only interaction I ever had with her other than Zooms and conversations over the phone and shit. So
really funny.
Obviously, like, you know, she knows we're gunning for her, you know, to take her out and replace her with somebody else. Like, I just hired somebody else, you know, because I hired this person because I knew I was going to have to fucking replace her.
Right.
So she fucking steps to HR and says, fucking, I'm being sexually harassed. And so HR immediately pulls me into this fucking meeting the very next day. Into a Zoom meeting, and they're like, we're letting you go immediately, effective immediately, we're letting you go. We have a zero tolerance policy towards sexual harassment, and you're being fired. And like, I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm like, what do you mean? Me? Fucking sexual harassment? Are you fucking kidding me? Me?
Yeah. No, I would know. I know exactly how you feel.
Like, my mind is so fucking blown right now. Like, I can't understand what this is. This is a joke? Is this like April Fool's? Wait a minute. This is right. Come on. And they're like, no, you're being fired. You're being terminated. We're terminating your accounts. You got to turn in all your equipment tomorrow or today if you can. They don't want to tell me really what the fuck it even is going on or what it's about. So I got to like kind of dig it out of them. I'm like, what? And then they're like, well, suggestive images. I'm like, what suggestive? And they're like, you posted a video. And I'm like, wait. The Snoop Dogg video? And they're like, yep, there was pole dancers. And I was just like, you know, it actually, you know,
the dots started connecting.
And yeah,
you're a chauvinist now.
So
you're a misogynist.
3 years. So 3 years of my life being, you know, putting into this firm is just gone.
Yep.
Just like that. No warnings, no write-ups. Gone.
But men dominate the world.
Maybe once upon a time.
We live in a patriarchal society, Noize.
It's
so unfair to women.
Well, I mean, like I said, maybe once upon a time, but
Once upon a time, for sure.
It's not.
But let's be real.
I was born in
real.
1977, so obviously I've seen a lot from
Right.
Nixon, Reagan, fucking Bush, Clinton, fucking.
When are people gonna get real? It's just imbalanced. Like, yeah, okay, maybe we needed some feminism in the 1970s, but right now we need to protect men.
I get some things
protect
to some
people
extent.
like you that are getting fired because of posting a Snoop Dogg video.
I mean, if I had actually sexually harassed her or anything,
Yeah, if you actually sexually harassed her, if you actually grabbed
made
her
any
by her
advances
pussy,
towards right,
you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is posting a Snoop Dogg video? That's not sexually harassing anybody.
Never, nothing. Never.
It's insane.
Never made any remarks. I was never anything but honorable. That's the type of person I am. I have a girlfriend who I love very much. I have no reason to cheat on her at all, especially with this fucking cross-eyed bitch. Fuck, man. So, yeah, she threw me under the fucking bus to save her goddamn job. Just a little bit longer. I don't know if she still works there, but yeah, so as soon as that Zoom was over, all my accounts were all my access was fucking gone.
Denied. Dude. Access denied.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. They're like, yeah, we need you to return.
You're a chauvinist. You're a misogynist. You hate women.
Yeah,
you posted a Snoop Dogg video.
So, yeah. So, Ali, he won't even respond to me.
Oh, wow.
I got his personal number. He knows, yeah. So,
but he's like, politically, I gotta not.
He finally responds to me like a day or two later. Excuse me. And by then I had a chance to think about it, and I talked to Charles, I talked to Tiffany, and obviously she's fucking not happy. Obviously, she's like, "You fucked this bitch? Did you fucking cheating on me with this fucking bitch?" Obviously.
Oh my god.
So now I'm the guy that fucking sexually harassed one of his fucking coworkers, and now I gotta tell my next employer this, right?
And the girl that you're like actually with,
like, what the
is accusing you of cheating on you.
yes. So this is a pleasant experience for me.
It sounds horrible. I'm sorry to laugh, but it sounds ridiculous.
It's you can laugh.
But it's ridiculous.
It's a lot easier to laugh looking
now.
back.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you were going through it right now, I would not be able to laugh. But it's like, it seems like it's at least in the past at this point.
Yeah. So
now that you got a new job,
like I said, I had talked to Charles and I had talked to Tiffany, and if he didn't fire me, she could have sued him.
Right.
So he had to.
Yeah.
He had to let HR
to like
fire
protect
me.
the firm, right?
He did, and I get that.
But isn't that a result of how insane our culture has become?
Yeah.
As a society, as a whole.
And after 3 years, it's
very unfair to men.
He still wouldn't think to have my back though, and try to fight for me, and you fire her instead. That's a frivolous claim.
No, to defend him. I don't even know the guy.
Devil's advocate.
To be devil's advocate. In the society that we live in, to defend you would be kamikaze.
Right. Exactly. So I'm going down in flames. He's not going with me.
Right. I mean, he's got a lot.
And I'm
more
like,
loose.
all right, man, I get it.
You're an employee. He's the employer.
I'm like, I'm just a little worried that now I'm labeled as a fucking sexual harasser, whatever the fuck, and
right.
I'm broke, and like I got one paycheck, and that's gonna cover my rent for one more month, and I better find a job fucking quick. So
did he at least give you a decent referral?
He gave me an extra fucking $1,000 for severance for bringing my equipment down right away, because he wanted the phone back because it had a bunch of contacts in it with doctors and shit. I still keep in touch with them on Facebook, so. But there's a lot.
That's nothing.
But there's a lot of messages and shit. But like what he
nothing
did,
compared to how much that information was worth.
Here's what he didn't realize. I had already factory reset the fucking phone. I'm like, well, fuck you. I don't need this. You don't need it either. I reset that shit. I didn't take down any contacts. I didn't take down any of the information that was in that fucking phone. I reset that bitch and I fucking gave it all back to him in the fucking bag, the laptop, the phone, the fucking company Amex, all that shit. I fucking gave it back to him. I didn't want none of that fucking shit. Fuck him. $1,000 severance for 3 years.
Yes, nothing.
He's like, I don't even really have to give you any severance. He's like, I'm being nice doing that.
Yeah.
Are you though? Are you?
Yeah, especially considering like you built a fucking IT like template for them to use, you know? But at the same time.
Yeah, it felt very much like now that I had done all that work, it was easy for him to throw me away. Because he didn't need me anymore because I had put all those systems into place for him.
Yeah.
So it felt very like on very many levels I was fucked up over this. Obviously, it felt like a betrayal from my boss. Obviously, this bitch threw me under the bus. I'm being labeled as a sexual harasser now, so finding a job is going to be a little more difficult. He said, he's like, all right, well, if I talk to anybody, if you have, I'll give you a stellar review. I won't tell anybody anything about that shit. I'll tell them that we converted to 80% Spanish marketing and I just didn't have enough work for you. And that's the official story that I actually tell people now. If I don't want to go into the full details.
No, but that was where I was going with one of my questions was like, did he help you out with at least like, being a referral for your new job?
Well,
did they call him?
So Ali's really smart. His brand is the CEO lawyer. His law firm is called Ali Awad Law PC, but his brand is the CEO lawyer. He's smart. He knows how to fucking brand himself. So I give him props. He's fucking smart. So he does the CEO Lawyer Academy, the CEO Lawyer Summit. CEO Lawyer Summit, well, he's not doing it this year, but he did it the last 3 years in a row and it successfully got bigger and bigger and bigger. It was, I helped him do the sales for it. So I didn't just do regular intake for him. I did all kinds of shit for this dude. I fucking did sales for his side campaign, this shit, I helped him. So essentially, okay, so CEO Lawyer Summit is him teaching other attorneys from all over the country how to do what he does. Because he's that fucking good at it. So he's got a bunch. It's
personal injury attorney,
I met a
right?
bunch of fucking attorneys
through this. He's a personal injury attorney,
yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. He also sent me and Charles to a CRISP event. CRISP puts on these huge, fucking extravagantly stupid fucking events here in Atlanta. The last one they put on was at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Mm-hmm. Falcons.
Fucking dumb. They had fucking Boys to Men fucking come and play.
Mm-hmm.
They had fucking was Schwarzenegger there? I think Schwarzenegger was there, and so was Kevin O'Leary. Yeah, they had some fucking crazy ass fucking people there. And yeah, so I got to go to one of their events year before last that he sent us to. I met a bunch of other attorneys there. One of the attorneys that I had met there and also that came to our event, Summit, which I helped also, put on the actual summit itself, running around behind the scenes, doing all kinds of fucking shit, was Louis Scott. Luis Scott, sorry. I got to pronounce it correctly. He's Spanish. It's Spanish Heritage Month, so, I work with a lot of Spanish people. They're good people. There's only one other person in my department that doesn't speak Spanish besides me. At this new job. But anyway, so I DM'd Luis on Facebook and I'm like, I'm not working for Ali anymore because at this point it had been a few weeks. I've been hitting up everybody on Indeed. A lot of the firms that I had known that I had reached out to them, nobody was hitting me back. It was like I was being ghosted or something. It was like I was excommunicado in John Wick or some shit.
Exiled.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not allowed into the Continental anymore. So I was getting desperate. So I Facebook messaged Mr. Scott and he's like, I just had my newborn baby, but yeah, man, I'm gonna message Seth Bader. So they're the owners of Bader Scott Injury Law. They're one of the biggest firms here in Georgia. They're 4 times the size Ali is. They sign up 4 times the amount of people he does. Like they've got billboards. Their office is extremely beautiful. I love going there every day actually. So he messages Seth my phone number, and Seth fucking called me directly. I was like, what? Who's this? And he's like, yeah, this is Seth Bader. He's like, we said you're not working for Ali anymore. He's like, you want to come meet up with me this Friday? Come down to the office. I want to meet with you and talk. So I fucking went down there and I talked with him and his operations director, and it was a good conversation. I told him, and I didn't lie to him. I told him the truth. I told him what happened.
That's the way to go with a situation like that, because it's nuanced. You know?
And he
it's not even that nuanced, but it's nuanced.
He respected
enough.
it. He respected me for being vulnerable, because it fucking still hurts me to talk about it.
Just being real.
Like it was real.
It's fucked up, dude. It's fucked up because it's like it's one thing if you're.
It's not just my livelihood. It's
it's like one thing if you're actually harassing somebody or actually fucking like being detrimental to somebody else's livelihood. But when somebody just accuses you of being detrimental to their livelihood over a fucking Snoop Dogg video, like that's fucking insane, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I know you definitely know what I mean, but but like it's just crazy to me. It's just like that's the fact that our culture is at the point where they can legitimately terminate you over a video post. That's crazy because she feels uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy, dude.
But fortunately, Seth listened to me. It took a little while. He had to talk some stuff with his. So
was he like you're a sexual harasser? Was he like? Did he come to you like, hey, you've been accused of sexual harassment?
No, he honestly like there. So Ali kind of burned some bridges. Actually, I don't know how much I want to go into. I don't know who sees this, but
there's like 25 viewers.
I don't know. Well, he burned some bridges with some other attorneys. Fucking, I don't need to go into the details, but anyway, so they weren't necessarily happy with him anyway. Mr. Bader and Mr. Scott. But they did know Charles. Charles had tried to work for them previously. He knew Seth. Also, he had met with Seth.
But Seth, you're
Charles had been to their
still
office.
currently working with this guy, Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've 2 weeks as of today. I just started with him on the 2nd. So I've been...
Every Seth I've ever known has been, like, at least relatively legit.
He's good people. They're really good people. His nephew Noah Bader works at the firm. Everybody that I've met there has been extremely fucking nice and very helpful, and just like where do I start?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I'm glad it's worked out for you because it sounds like some nonsense, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. So
I'm never gonna pretend like I'm the fucking authority over reality.
But I'm not coming into this job as a director or a manager. I'm coming in basically as like a low-level supervisor.
Right.
And I just took a huge pay
cut
chunk loss. And so I got knocked back down a little bit to where I was like last year, basically. Yeah. So a little step back. But, this is arguably a better thing, honestly.
One thing I've learned
I think it's a better firm.
I'm 34 now. I think one thing I've learned over the last...
I think it's the right move, If it's the one firm I really, really fucking wanted to get the job with. It's not remote, which really sucks.
Corey, right here.
Fuck, I miss
working remote. One thing I've learned is relationships, whether, sexual or whatever. Any friendships, relationships, they have a value beyond currency, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I met her.
I don't know about y'all until right now.
In
We just met
2018,
Corey. I don't know.
in 2018, I was working at a wellness center, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage therapy.
Okay.
They had a gym in there for personal training. They had a nutrition therapist, right? An acupuncturist, right? Wellness center. I was working there. It was a partnership. The ownership was a partnership. One was a Jewish guy who I still love and respect to this day. I mean, we might have some, superficial disagreements about our worldview or whatever, but at the end of the day, I like the guy. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he would say the same about me. The other guy was a Catholic Scientologist.
Okay.
Now tell me how you're able to make that work. For lack of a better term, I don't know, but
Yeah, religion is best kept out of
well, it is what it is.
certain
but
ones, especially.
I thought I was cool with this guy, but turns out we weren't cool.
I don't know if you have any Christian listeners, but no.
It turns out we weren't cool. But what happened was the Jewish guy ended up having throat cancer, and he had to step away from the practice for an indefinite amount of period. I didn't, at the time when this all was going down, I didn't know how long he was going to be gone. And once he stepped away, things started changing around the facility, and I wasn't down with the vibe, basically. And I spoke up, and I was basically told, you can go ahead and leave then. And one of the other, I was the new patient coordinator, which was basically like the manager of the front office. Because there's the front office, which is like people who check in all the regular patients, and then there's the new patient coordinator who is doing all the intake forms and being basically the first impression for the practice and blah, 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 blah. Getting underpaid for doing a lot of work, basically.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Yes.
So,
Doing all the work.
Yep. So that was going down, and then Dr. Rudman, the Jewish guy who I liked, he got throat cancer, and he had to step away from the practice, and the other doctor was power tripping and treating everybody like shit, and I was not the only person to step away at the time. But fortunately, one of the receptionists at the time, her name was Summer, her brother owned a renovation company, and I knew that I was just trying to do a reset altogether as far as my professional career. I was still young enough to where I could restart, and I was like, yeah, hey, tell your brother I'm looking for just a job. I'm not going to try. I'm not the type of person that's going to be working construction forever, but I'm a reliable person. I'm going to show up for work. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'll be a fucking grunt worker for as long as I need to be until I find something better. And dude's name was Chris. Her brother's name was Chris, and he was mad cool. I like Chris. Still, follow him on Instagram, and he's a cool guy. But at the time, I met Corey's cousin Tyler. We worked together at the time. That's how I met Corey. I met Corey at her cousin's wedding, and but it was a temporary job for me. Ended up getting another contract job with Bank of America, data. What do they call it? Data entry type bullshit.
Yeah, like clerical work, basically.
Cubicle work. Yep.
Yep.
And did that until I got a more permanent job with
If you can read and write, and you can type, and you can read, and you can look at a screen, and
basically.
You can work a computer, we got work for you.
Yep.
Do this, monkey.
Yep. They weren't gonna offer me a full-time job, or they were holding out. They were being kind of shady about it or whatever. My friend Luke got me on with ticket sales. Basically, stock market for fucking entertainment and sports business, concerts and sports.
Right. Yeah.
He was on the concert side. He knew that I knew about sports, and could speak the language and like could fake
Speak
it
the lingo.
basically.
Yeah.
Yep. So he got me a job on the sports side. Did that for a few years. And then COVID hit, and sports and entertainment were the first things to go. So fortunately for me, being in Virginia, around that same time, cannabis was getting medically legalized. It's still a medical state as far as Virginia is concerned. Decriminalized, obviously, as a medical state. But I got over COVID, I got a job basically certifying patients for the cannabis program to go
So
to
that can I do a side topic?
Yeah.
Like, what are your feelings on the shot, the injection, the cure, or the whatever?
You mean like the
whatever
COVID shit?
Yeah.
Did you get yours?
On paper. So
On paper.
yeah, I can show it to you. But
But you got a vaccine card, but you didn't actually get a vaccine.
yeah, so one of the very nice doctors that we work with, I hope this doesn't get out.
This is going to be on the internet. What are you talking about?
All right, well, I had to put a bar over my face for this or something.
No.
So somebody was kind enough.
I never got one, but I did
somebody
get.
was kind enough to forge a card. So on paper, I have 2 injections.
Damn, but you never got one.
Nope.
Not me either.
So honestly,
But I got like this. There's
funny.
a.
It's fun. It's actually a funny story. I'm sorry. So we got sent to a summit in Washington, D.C. Me and Charles, we got sent up there to this summit. And when we got there, they're like, you got to show us your vaccination card or you can't come in to the summit and to the convention center. And neither one of us has vaccinations. He's not into that shit. His wife, they're not, no, fuck no. We're old school. We ain't putting some fucked up shit in our body. Hell no, that shit's not tested. It's fucking they're telling us it's some DNA changing shit. Fucking the more I hear about this shit, the
less I want to take it.
less I want to put that shit in my body. So yeah, so we call Ali and we're like, yo, how the fuck are we gonna get into this place? And he's like, hang on. He calls us back 30 minutes later and he sends us pictures of cards with our names on it and fucking all filled out with dates and all that shit. And he's like, here, show him, because you don't have to show him the actual card. Just as long as you show him a picture of it or whatever, it's good. And so we go back and they're like, I thought you said you didn't have vaccinations. Oh, no, we just said we didn't have the cards on us.
Right.
So we had to like double back on our words real quick. But they believed us and they fucking let us in.
That's awesome. I never did, and I never admitted, and I never said that I did, but I got a there's an association called the American Frontline Doctors. They're based out of California, surprisingly enough. But
I believe in science and
I've basically
vaccinations, but this is not a traditional vaccine. It's not. It's
basically
shit.
all you had to do was say that you had COVID and that you built natural immunity to it from having it, and they signed off on a certificate saying that you didn't need a mask or a vaccine.
I've been sick. I don't know. Sometimes I felt maybe it was COVID. I've tested myself multiple fucking times. I've never had a positive test.
Right. Yeah. I never tested myself.
And you know what? When COVID first hit and I lost the job with Charles, I didn't immediately go to that IT place.
From what I learned about the test, they're not exactly
I had to
reliable.
manage a fucking Pizza Hut right when COVID hit for 3 months, right at the beginning of it. Yes, fuck that shit. So yeah, we're essential motherfucking workers. We're busy as shit. Everybody else is closed down. There ain't nobody on the fucking roads. Everybody's wearing masks. We gotta have masks and gloves in a fucking 100-degree kitchen making fucking pizzas and shit. Fucking, if we take our mask off for half a second, the got some whiny Karen fucking in the fucking there wigging out on us. Fucking, that shit was rough.
That's whack. I'm gonna have to pause it because I gotta pee like a motherfucker. Excuse me, Corey. You were telling me about
speaker die or something? I think,
huh?
yeah. Speaker shit out. I forgot we had music going.
Oh, you're good. You were telling me basically you got a new job very recently after all that bullshit went down.
Yeah, I was panicking too because shit, I still owe the rent and like we got
From like
utilities,
September?
fridge is a little bare. Yeah, I got fired. I got fired like 3 days before my birthday, August 22nd.
Late August.
Yeah, it was like And
he gave you enough to pay September
I think it was
rent.
the 18th.
Right.
I think it was August 18th.
So you got September rent paid, but not October rent, basically, at this point.
Yes.
Got you.
And it's, what are we? October 13th. Yes, it's Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
You should have mentioned that at the beginning. It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Tiff!
This is the Friday the 13th edition.
Friday the 13th, you gotta get in on this.
Yeah, she might show up. Anyway.
She might show up, who knows?
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Don't matter. We were talking about, all right, you got a new job, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, Bader Scott, injury attorneys. Give me a call if you get in a car wreck, slip or fall, medical malpractice. Actually, no, they don't do medical malpractice, but we do workers' compensation cases. Yeah, the regular personal injury stuff.
And
if you get hurt, I'm gonna help you and get you paid.
At this point, are you still like, I mean, I guess you just got hired, so you're looking to work your way up to where you were with the other company?
Yeah, exactly. It's like I said, it's a more prestigious firm. They're 4 times the size. It's very clear that they got a bunch of kids working in there. It's why they don't let them do working from home, because they can't trust any of them really, you know. So it's, you know, it's like some cubicle. They're really nice desks. They got the double monitors. They got the hydraulic up and down raising desks. You know, the nice chairs. You know, they got cabinets and snacks and all kinds of shit. They got like this fucking $10,000-$20,000 coffee machine in the kitchen, like break room meeting area. There's like a couch and there's all these like restaurant booths, and there's this big long table where every Wednesday they lay out fucking this massive feast for the whole firm, and they have 4 floors of the fucking building, 160 employees that come in fucking almost every day. And then on Wednesday everybody meets in that one fucking huge ass fucking kitchen room place. Yo, this coffee machine makes lattes in 3 button pushes. I'm like, bing, bing, bing. Put my cup there, and it's like, it grinds the coffee. It fucking shoots the steamed milk into it. It's all in less than like 20 seconds. I got a beautiful latte. I'm like, this is amazing.
That is dope. That is
CEO doesn't have any of this.
To be the balancing act, like to bring it the other direction, like. All right, so you told like your story and then like your career story. So, but like, we're both big Mayday fans. Obviously, we're deep thinking type people to even be into that type of music. Mm-hmm. What do you think about just like where we're at in like October 2023 and just like the state of the world and just like more like deep philosophical shit? Like, what would you impart to the internet if the internet was to listen to you?
The internet? Fuck.
As somebody that's been around for 46 years, that grew up in an era where, you know, the internet was born when you were, what, 12, 13, 14 years old. You know, by the time it was actually moving up to speed, you were a young adult. What do you think about humanity in general, the direction that we're going in, our evolution?
That's a lot. You're asking a lot.
Nah, but dude,
how can
you gotta understand?
How can I comment on all of that in like 10-minute wrap-up?
You know me. You know I'm gonna ask these questions. Like, I'm a very deep person. Like, this is the type of shit I'm interested in hearing about. How do you see the world? And where we're going, where we are, and where we're going.
I was gonna say time isn't real, so.
The world is fucked. Why bother?
And there's a lot of realness to that.
As Rec would say.
A lot of realness to that. But at the same time, he bothers So what?
No, I know.
So
it's
why?
true. We do bother, don't we?
Yep.
No, the world's a beautiful place. There's a lot of beauty.
Yes,
there.
thank you. I just want to hear that.
The world's amazing.
That's awesome to hear.
The only thing fucking the world up for me is people.
Yeah,
honestly,
in the way that we treat it.
Yeah, shitty people, shitty fucking people that are just too buried in themselves or their fucking
Their
phone.
story, their idea of themselves.
Motherfucker can't even drive down the road for 10 minutes without fucking staring at their phone and watching a YouTube or a TikTok video. You know, and they're swerving around the road and fucking, or they're responding to a message, or like, just put the fucking phone down. Like, you know, we didn't even have cell phones when I was a kid. Like, we went outside, we played until the lights came on the streets.
I was born in '89. To if you're '86, like for me in '89, I feel like I'm on the edge, dude.
So if your parents
people
were
born
young,
2-3 years after me sucked into their fucking internet or phone, mobile device, whatever.
Technology's amazing. It's extremely.
And don't get me wrong, not 100% of people born after 1991 or whatever it is sucked into it, but a large majority of them are. There's a significant
generational
difference.
Distinctions.
But
like
there's
calling people millennials or boomers.
But there are significant differences. It's
placing
significant,
those labels.
It's significant enough to say if we are going to generalize, like these are significant differences. Obviously,
there's a reason stereotypes are stereotypes.
Right. Every individual is what they are. You shouldn't judge somebody based on stereotypes.
True.
You shouldn't judge any individual based on stereotypes because every individual is who they are. At the same time,
unconscious bias.
There are group behaviors.
Right. People are biased.
Stereotypes developed for a reason.
Right.
Like you said.
Without even realizing, sometimes just because of the way they're brought up.
Well, I hate road rage, but I get on the road and somebody does some buck shit in front of me and then I act exactly like them. We just had that conversation. So, I mean, it's not just, you know, just saying.
Very good.
She's got a point.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you should sink to their level. Right.
True, but are we not? Are we not our?
That's what the argument was. You know.
True, but are we not our own harshest
start driving
critics?
erratic and honking at them, and like it's not your job to traffic or to police the other traffic. You know what I mean? Sure, they're being assholes. Sure, they might cause a wreck, but don't make it worse by interacting with them and doing a road rage incident. And
yeah, but sometimes it just happens because we're people. And
I know, I get it. That people get, you know, in the heat of the moment, and I'm, you know, and this is Atlanta, so you know, you fucking be careful.
Right.
We saw a wreck 5 minutes after we left the house, right down the road here.
Right.
I think
anybody watching this or anybody in this room right now can agree that we live in a fucking large insane asylum without bars.
It's why I'd rather be farther away from the city.
However,
the farther I can get from the city, the better. The more peaceful I am at home, because the closer I am to the city, the more panicky I am, the more gunshots I hear outside and sirens I hear outside, and that shit's not good for your fucking mental health.
I agree, 100%. Everything,
or even your physical health if you catch a fucking stray bullet because you're out in the ghetto.
Everything that you're saying right now, I totally agree with, and I think a lot of people can identify and relate with. Where I want to go with it is how do we make that more comforting? How do we create a world where we don't feel that way?
Do better.
Be better.
Be better.
Better.
Get better idols.
Smoke more weed.
Weed's good too.
Cannabis is definitely a big part of it, for sure.
Psychedelics, you know, open your mind, don't be dumb.
I don't think they can hurt if you use them responsibly, but cannabis is the one.
Yeah.
Cannabis is a favorable one for me because you can use it irresponsibly and it still is not going to do that much.
Worst you're going to do is eat too much.
It's not the worst possible scenario is not that bad with cannabis.
Exactly.
You take too much LSD, you take too much Molly, you take too much mushrooms. Negative consequences.
You could tweak your brain a little bit.
Things could happen, you know what I mean? I like taking all of those drugs personally in the proper dosage, but cannabis, even if you're irresponsible, you'd be all right.
Yeah, so the state of the world is, it's, you know, it's a messy place.
It's fucked,
it's getting messier. It's only so big.
Do you think, as somebody who is a eternal optimist, do you think that, don't get me wrong, I don't think it happens. Personally, the year that I'm looking at is 2028. things are moving really fast right now. We're in 2023.
Resources dwindling.
By 2028,
Prices going up.
things are going to be
Gas,
drastically
food,
different
all
in
cost
5
of living
years.
across the board.
I think within the next 5 years, we hit a low, a serious low, where people actually start to wake up. And it might take a while. You know, my uncle told me, my great uncle
That
Edward
guy.
is the coolest motherfucker in my entire family. He told me one time, because we were having a real deep conversation about just like human evolution and like collective consciousness and where we're headed as a species and all of that sort of shit, right? And he's older. He's very, very much older. Was an alcoholic until he was like 47, 48. I wouldn't say turned his life around necessarily, but chilled out very seriously. Stopped drinking, went sober, at least in terms of alcohol. And I'll never forget the words that he said. He said, "An aircraft carrier doesn't turn on a dime." And it was an analogy to the
I love a
fact
good
that
analogy.
that humanity has been on the wrong path for so long that any attempt to right ourselves is not going to be an easy task.
Not without some kind of
An aircraft,
Major
an aircraft
technological
carrier doesn't
change or
turn on a dime.
development.
That's exactly what he said. An aircraft carrier doesn't turn on a dime, and that, in reference
give it a minute.
to, in
Give
reference,
it a minute to correct course a little bit.
yeah, exactly. Let that one simmer for a second, because it's
Hey,
like,
like at the very beginning of this conversation, I said I never thought in my life I would see weed legal.
right.
And
Aircraft
here we are
carriers
now.
don't turn on a dime. It's a
Right.
great analogy for a lot of different things that are happening in our
Exactly.
world right now. It's like, yeah,
Well, hopefully it is turning in the right direction.
I feel like we are turning in the right direction, but the turn itself can cause some turbulence with minds that aren't prepared for it.
Well, I mean, just think about the numbers. What do you think about all that? There's obviously only so much room on this planet for the amount of people there are, and there's just more people coming and less resources. So, obviously we will have to leave this planet. Some of us will, or
I don't know
or
about
we
all
will
that.
destroy it.
I don't know about all that.
What do you think the solution is? Leave it?
I do
or
know.
find a way to fix it?
think there are some radical solutions.
Right?
What do you think, as somebody
Some
who
Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome shit?
Oh, what's happening?
Post-apocalyptic world? Do you think we're gonna hit that
I
point?
think we're already at the
You think-
post-apocalypse.
Well, do you think we're beyond
Yeah.
saving? Do you think we'll be able to fix it?
I think we do need to evolve to something different than what we are.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to be forced to in order to survive. Which leads me to my next question, which is, what do you believe we are? We call ourselves human beings.
He's
Trash
getting deep over here.
We're trash beings.
Well, we've already done your story. We've already done all the other the shallower stuff that we need to do.
I don't know what the fuck we are.
I want to hear like your philosophy on what we are, what our purpose is.
Shit, man. The more I learn, I don't know nothing.
Right.
That everybody else is full of shit. That all these religions, they're cool guidebooks on how to live a good life.
Based on
to some extent.
I was gonna say based on somebody's story that lived fucking
and I would
thousands of years
say,
ago.
and I would say each one of them has only one little bit of the picture.
But don't every single one of us though?
They've all got
And
it
what makes them
distorted and
special?
fucked
What makes
up and-
Muhammad or Jesus or fucking Buddha more special
That's what I'm saying.
than me
Well,
and you?
they all glimpsed a
And Tiffany
piece of the
and Corey.
picture, but they're like, oh, well, we should base our religion on. But I think maybe they all have some important things.
They might have had some epic
that you can
insight
pull
because they took some
from,
epic drugs or some shit,
No,
Well, there's different stories. Like there's the Bhagavad Gita, there's the Mexican,
The Quran,
the,
Don
the
Quixote,
Bible, the Bible of the Dead,
Bible,
the Aztec Bible of the Dead, or whatever the fuck that one
Yeah.
is.
the
Egyptian,
yeah, the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
fucking
so much,
and
dude.
there's corresponding stories in all of them.
And do you think cannabis is tied to probably?
I'm not trying to pull a fucking,
I feel like cannabis is tied.
I'm not trying to go all ancient aliens here, but
what about cannabis? You think cannabis is tied to every single one of those prophetic visions?
I do think it's possible that humans didn't originate from here.
Did not originate from planet Earth.
That our DNA was potentially seeded here by an alien species.
Nah.
Well,
I think plants. I think cannabis and mushrooms have served to.
But have you ever
I mean,
it's just fungus and
I believe
plants
evolution's
and animals
real.
coming all together
too, but like
creating like a unique species.
Have you ever thought about like what is before God?
What's before God?
Yes. Have you ever thought about what is before God?
But what is God to you? Because God is a very fucked up word.
God is everything to us, right? Okay.
But no, okay. But no. Because people have very
God
different.
can mean anything.
God
to
can
anyone.
mean a very different shit to very different people.
Okay, well, although
To a drug addict, God is heroin.
Right.
What's behind them?
But that's the question that mushrooms ask everybody.
What is behind?
But that's why fungus is
God?
very unique. I feel like fungus could be God.
Well, it's proven fungus
like that's kind of the
helps
point, is the
humans'
connection.
brains
To
evolve.
continue to ask,
The
right?
connect- well, and the connection. Like, I feel like that's the whole point in all of
There
it.
is a God.
The mushrooms have it figured
Yes.
out, not
The
us.
mushrooms have it fucking
That's what
on
I
point.
feel like.
I mean, ultimately,
But-
we're all going
no,
back to
no,
the
okay,
mycelium.
There's got to be a creator who creates this, right?
Yeah, but why couldn't fungus
We're all
be
going
that
to be
creator?
spores.
But okay, if even if it was the creator, who is before that? Or did it very?
What created
The Big
fungus?
Bang?
What created everything?
So, like,
There was just
the Big
not
Bang,
something-
right? Everything in the universe is made up of
No,
a
she
certain
actually makes a
finite
valid
amount
point.
of energy, right?
I think willpower.
Is there only a certain finite amount of energy in the universe because
But-
it all came
I
from
don't.
the Big Bang?
I think
You know,
finite or
and
ins.
okay,
And if so,
there is-
answer me this: what's outside of the universe?
What is outside of the creator?
I think, but y'all are asking the same question, and I say that finite and infinite are both moot points, for real,
But
because
there's
it's like
got to be something that just started everything.
willpower.
Are we just
And that's just a word
marble
too.
in an alien star with a bunch of other
Willpower is
marbles?
nothing more than a symbol, a word that I'm using to try to send a message to people, whether it be you or Noize or
Okay,
Tiffany,
okay,
to
yeah.
explain the force that is our intent.
What was the
Intent is another
what was
word.
the very
It's
first-
magic.
What was the very? What was the very first?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's magic. The fact that we wanted existence to exist brought it
Stardust.
into existence.
We're all made out of stardust.
Yes, exactly. Like the fact that what you're asking is the like what I'm saying is the answer to your question.
That's all we are.
We willed ourselves into existence. Everything that we see, everything that we feel, everything that we experience is brought into experience by the fact that we wanted it to experience.
Life finds a way.
Where did it start?
By the fact that we
Fucking
wanted it
does.
to start.
The-
It's beyond words. It's like
fucking-
willpower is the best
daisy-
word I have for it.
The goddamn daisy growing between the two fucking pavement. It's life finds a way. It's gonna
Yes,
fucking push its
it's
way
it's just
through.
willpower.
It
It's
will
intention.
live.
It's
Yeah.
like words the words willpower and intention fall very short of what they represent. What those words represent.
What was before that though?
There's nothing before willpower. Try to think about that. Think about what would become before willpower. You can't have anything before
I
willpower.
don't know.
Of course you don't know because it's just your intention. It's just what it is. There's nothing before what it is.
This makes me think of that Action Bronson.
Like our
movie, where he's
willpower is
what,
reality.
What is a thought? What really is a thought? Can you really even have a thought?
But that's real shit. That's why I fuck with Action Bronson actually. I fuck with him hard actually.
He's dope.
He is. And Absol too. You fuck with Absol?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say, right? You say what becomes before willpower, but how can anything become before willpower? Existence itself is the manifestation of willpower. And that's just the word that I use. That's just like you could call it intention. You could call it God. You could call it consciousness. You could call it nature. You could call it fucking Allah. Nothing comes before it. It itself is what God is. I think willpower and God are the same thing. I think willpower and reality are the same thing.
What became before God, though?
Nothing comes before existence. You will it into existence. That's what I'm trying to say.
What's your answer?
Yeah, what is your answer? Exactly. What's your answer?
Riddle me this.
Yeah, exactly. Huh? I think it's just I think the intention itself is what God is. We are connected to God through our willpower, through our intention. When did that start? Right now. What's the difference between right now and fucking thousands of years ago?
Oh.
Both.
I made sure I left them for you.
What do you think?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
Who is Satan? Okay, but who is Satan? I actually like that because it sparks a whole different.
Talk about
You know me. I fuck with the yin yang. The yin yang is my favorite
First
symbol.
quote that comes to my mind is Richard Ramirez, and he says, "Satan is a stabilizing force in my life." That to me speaks volumes.
Okay, how?
Because he believes in it. Literally, like you were just saying, he believes in Satan, so it stabilizes his life. Right. I believe in tarot. I believe in energy.
But what is Satan? Messages. What is Satan to somebody who believes in Satan? Do they believe in Satan because they believe in God?
No, I don't believe that.
I think God.
Why do they believe in Satan then?
Here, let me simplify this. I think God is just like any religion. It's a comfort blanket. That's all it is. It's just a comfort blanket.
But okay, I know. That's the point I'm getting to. That's the point I'm getting to, though. Could not
be ignorant in your bliss.
Could not Satan be the same thing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
of course.
kind of the point I was trying to make with Richard Ramirez's whole, hail Satan, and he's a stabilizing force in my life. Like, that to him was what made his life better.
Focus, willpower, whatever, yeah. Ignorance is bliss.
To anyone, it could be any number of things.
Satan is God.
No.
Or God is Satan.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on what your view is.
No? Why not?
Because Satan is the opposite of God.
But only because you believe that.
And you're yang.
Huh?
The yin and the yang.
Yes, but the yin and the yang to me.
But you can't have yin without you.
But one of the most foundational aspects of the yin and yang to me is like truth, right? In order to know the truth, stop believing anything. If you don't believe in anything, because lies require you to believe in them. When you say, fuck, I don't believe in nothing, the only thing that's going to survive when you actually stop believing everything at all. When now you got to let go of all that bullshit. Because you might as well be dead, because why not? The only way to really be alive is to mentally die and stop believing in anything. And when you do that, you realize that the only thing that's real is what you believe in, which is a fucking conundrum as a motherfucker, right? Like, what you believe in is real.
Well, and I kind of agree with you on, it's willpower. We exist because we choose to.
Exactly.
Period.
This conversation brought to you by drugs.
Brought to you by alcohol and other things. Mostly alcohol.
Existence is crazy.
Exactly, but to me,
drugs to make things a little funner.
Another way to word what I just said is the power of our belief creates everything.
It totally does.
If we believe in Satan, Satan is all powerful. If we believe in God, God is all powerful. At the same time, God and Satan are literally nothing more than sounds that I'm making with my mouth. And you're the one that believes in whatever concept that you attach to that symbol.
God is in everything, though.
But God is literally 3 letters made into a word that is a concept that you've been made to believe.
Really spelled cat, man.
Huh? In
I said, what if G-O-D really spelled cat, man?
It could. But that's just different symbols. But
To the cat lady, cat could be God.
But what were you saying? I want to hear what you were saying,
About
Corey.
the Native American
Crazy cat
church.
lady.
God isn't everything. Everything's alive. Everything's
But
living.
that's understanding that God is life.
Well, then.
But even those symbols are just
But
symbols for
everybody
what
has their
is.
own, you know.
Satan, you could say Satan is the same
This is
thing.
getting
it's just
way
a, it's
too
just a
religical.
different. No, it's real.
Around
It's
here.
real.
Because like Satan is just another word. If you wanted to attach that word to what is real, then you could say I believe in Satan, and it's
no,
light.
no.
Satan is life, is God, is consciousness, is nature, is existence. Like they're all fucking just words that represent
You're
something
just
real.
fucking playing semantics here. You're
Exactly.
playing word games, goddammit.
Exactly, 100%.
You're making my brain hurt. Stop it.
But okay, no.
Yes,
You're
I
actually
know,
reaching
I
a
know,
good
I
point,
know.
though. No,
Labels?
you're actually getting to a point that I wanted to get to because like, is it not just word games?
Labels.
Yeah.
People like try to attach their own words to it and like put their like, oh, I'm a Satanist, I'm a fucking Christian, I'm Islam or whatever. But it's just like you're trying.
Imagine what we
you're trying
did
to
before
win
words.
a game that is like just playing it is fucking costing you energy.
That's what I'm saying. We should just go back to grunts. We shouldn't even talk anymore.
But
We shouldn't even have a language.
Nah, I feel like we do need we kind of, that but that's why I do a podcast. It's kind of I feel like we do need to talk it out, like talk these like actual real shit out, you know? Because we're not gonna
good,
solve
it's
anything
good.
by not talking it out.
It's a good therapy session.
That's why I use it for as therapy.
We saw it. What is that thing called?
I've told this more
What
dude
is that thing
tonight.
called
This
that we
dude
saw?
more shit about me tonight than I've told anybody in
What
a
is
long
that thing?
fucking time.
Well, other people are listening. What is that thing that?
Well,
we
yeah.
saw?
In the future, but not right this minute.
Elon Musk.
The Starlink
I
shit.
thought it was aliens. I got so excited.
that's so
I was
crazy.
like, they're here.
Yeah, we saw that shit flying over one night, and we were on acid too, so it was a trip.
I do think there's something going on. whether it's
Elon Musk.
whether it's military technology or
'Cause I could see
legitimately
planes.
extraterrestrial,
Elon Musk, the satellite.
like the Starlink
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
I've
could
seen
see
that.
planes, but these things were way higher than that, and they were successive. It was
Well,
like
like
one
you
after
said,
the other, and there was like 40 or
AI is
50
gonna
of them.
take over
Yeah.
before
Like it just
anything
filled
else.
up the
Do
sky.
you think
They
they're
just
like
kept
Amazon
moving.
Prime deliveries though?
That'd be cool.
I just feel like
That
it-
shit do be getting here fast though.
right?
No, it's they have those Amazon fulfillment warehouses
Drones and
fucking
shit.
everywhere, so they have like
A
stock
lot
of that shit
more
of the major
afraid
products,
of
like
AI, I think right now.
you
than
know.
Anything else? I mean,
What?
I knew that all the
drones.
shit that's going over in Israel. Okay, well, I think we should be a little bit more concerned about AI
Oh yeah.
and how. It's
All right,
going
we're getting into too many different weeds. We've already had an
I
epic
don't know if I want to
episode.
go into Israel and Palestine.
And I'm not going there right now. Corey and I are actually gonna have episodes soon on.
Because my
Monogamy.
former boss is betrayed by him as I am. He is Palestinian,
We're doing
and
it
I
on the
know
way
a lot
out.
about him and his family.
Yeah, or at your
And
place.
I don't agree with how Israel treats Palestine. Like
Yeah, but you got Hamas in there.
normal
and
people
they're
don't just go out and fucking attack people. They
Well,
do
they-
that if they don't have food or shelter or a way
That's
to make a
Hamas.
life for their fucking family.
Well, that is Hamas. That's why they're going over there and starting to do that stuff. I mean,
Israel shits on Palestine constantly, and now that Palestine's rising up, they're gonna be, they're gonna point the cameras and
My grandpa.
cry.
I'm not gonna take a stance either way. My stance
I
on the
said it.
whole.
I'm said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my stance on Israel Palestine is
Israel's done
war,
some fucked up
is
shit
that war is bad.
in their past.
I don't take sides. I don't think
always been.
either side in war is never right to me. But I will say this. I just want to say this. Both of y'all,
go ahead.
let me finish this point
go
because
ahead. We're all
and I hate to be like nepotistic and all that bullshit, but like my grandpa, he retired from the Marine Corps right before the first Persian Gulf War, and then he died a year before 9/11. And I feel like they weren't even gonna try the
I share a birthday with Stormin Norman Schwarzkopf.
I feel like they weren't even going to try that 9/11 inside job bullshit while he was still alive because he would have sniffed it out. He died in August 2000, so about 13 months before 9/11 happened.
OSS dudes.
And he retired from the Marine Corps in 1991, so literally like a year before the first Persian Gulf War happened. And he was a 3-star general in the Marine Corps. and he was super non-political. He avoided any political discussion when he was around family and friends. The only thing he ever publicly said around family and friends when it came to politics and religion, especially involving the Middle East, was that they've been fighting for over 2,000 years, and the only thing that we're doing by getting ourselves involved is fucking ourselves over.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they've been having a holy war for a long time. Like, this isn't anything new.
Right.
It's been going on for hundreds of years.
becoming a lot more prevalent with Hamas.
It's the Holy Land. It belongs to us. It belongs to us.
Yeah,
No,
but
it belongs to us.
but
No, it belongs to us.
It's getting bad. It's getting to the point where we're
Like, y'all can't fucking
Insane.
share it? The
And
fuck?
like, aren't we all
Well-
human beings at the same? Like,
Right? Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
What-
you have babies with
y'all don't
being
see
beheaded,
similarities between each other
everything.
at all.
Right, you know? You don't think there's Jewish Palestinian children out there?
Right.
that are being.
Now I
beheaded.
saw, you know, Immortal Technique. He posted a like this picture, and it was like these Jewish guys standing outside of the UN that were like, it had signs that were like, you know, Jewish does not mean Zionist, basically. Like the Jews do
But-
not represent
Yeah, all
the
the
Zionist
stereotypes
state,
and the, yeah.
and it's like Jews for Palestine, you know, which is fucking not an angle that you'll ever hear the media
No.
cover.
But
Jews for Palestine is fucking an insane position according to the mainstream media, whether it be Fox or CNN.
Right, and you're like,
And he's part of
I don't even
Hamas.
want to say shit on Facebook or any social media because
Yeah, I don't say
everybody's
nothing about it.
everybody's
This-
all
this,
on.
this literal this
Everybody's all
moment
like,
right
I
now is
stand
not-
with Israel.
Yeah,
and
this moment is the first time I've even commented on
fucking
it. I don't stand
Israel
with either
power.
side. I don't stand with war.
Fuck, yo.
Yeah, I don't stand with war.
Like,
I stand
take
with
a
peace.
look at.
And neither
you know,
side seems
look
to
at
be
it
with that.
objectively.
Right.
Why do you think they're doing that? Because they're,
Brainwashed.
It's their only choice.
Yeah. Or they've been, yeah, exactly. Or they've been put in a position where they feel like this is a life or death situation, like a life or death choice, you know? So they make the choice that they make.
Well, they Israel literally doesn't give them passports, and they're not allowed to get the same jobs as Jews, and they're
Yeah.
really Palestine's are really shitted on.
Yeah.
Palestinians are really shitted on by Israel. So I get it. You keep kicking a fucking dog and not feeding it,
The dog's gonna bite you back at some
it's
point.
gonna fucking bite back.
Yeah.
And then when it does, you can't fucking run and fucking be like, wah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. People are dying. That's not good, obviously. That's I
Right.
feel for all that shit.
Innocent people dying.
It's
is
definitely
never-
not good.
Right.
But people don't usually kill for no reason.
Exactly.
They only.
I think it's important to ask
Usually, they only do it
questions
because they
instead of
believe they
making
have
assumptions versus asking questions is a big,
to. Right. Assumptions, bias,
yeah, a big
prejudice,
discernment
all that,
practice. You know.
Oh, shit.
But we've been going at this for a minute, so I'm ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, it's midnight. For sure.
But did you have any closing thoughts? Anything you wanted to put to the internet? Or the Wreking crew?
the subject matter of this whole interview was what it was. So I would say, in this day and age with communication and being what it is, if you're in a position of power, watch your back. Don't post things, even on your social media. Even the most innocuous things can get you fucking strung up and hung out to dry. So, sometimes it's best, not to be posting on social media or sharing, especially, you should definitely keep a separation between your personal life and your work life. Don't let the two mesh. It's never a good thing. Not if you want to be a professional business person in this type of world, in this day and age. They're your employees, they're your coworkers, they're not your friends. Yeah, I hate to take a cold approach, but
It would be better if they were your friends.
the
right?
world is a beautiful place, but there's a lot of fucked up people out there, I love the world. It's like I said, it's magical. It's amazing. I'm never cease to wonder at the things that I see. So don't let the people ruin it for you. Because there's some good ones, you know.
Hell yeah. Right here.
That's right. Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew, baby. Look, this podcast is over, but this is brought to you by drugs.
Drugs.
Do you believe in repenting? What if the kingdom of heaven's within you? Do you think you would enter, huh? What do you know, huh? How do you know truth? From the pit of your soul or just cause somebody told you? Do you think about what you think about? Do you see yourself in the people that you hang around? Keep quiet, let me think aloud. Listen up, wanna break it down and question your perceptions. I'ma break it down and question your perceptions. Do you ever question your perceptions? Do you ever question it all? Yeah. What if your money was worthless? Then would you know what your worth is and reconsider living with a purpose? How would you determine what work is? Are you seeking what's easy to purchase, or is it deeper than what's on the surface? Do you question your perceptions? Ever so is real, huh? It ain't your politicians, nor your status. All of that is fiction, so it's real, huh? It ain't your entertainment, nor the industry. I heard it's filled with fake shit. And I need truth over everything. Yeah. I need truth above all else. Just I need truth over everything. Yeah, give me the truth, give me the truth, give me the truth, yeah.